I would say my journey of entrepreneurship started in high school. So it was 10th grade, and we had open campus. So during lunchtime, I would walk around, and we would go to an establishment, a restaurant, or whatnot. And I came across this business. It was called the Game Exchange. It was a video game store, and it was run by a brother. His name was Musa. And stopping by and talking to him, I asked him just one day, like, how can I run a business like this one day? I'm trying to save up money to buy a computer. He was kind enough to say, okay, well, I'll tell you what, not knowing me very well, he said, why don't you take some of my inventory, take it to a swap meet, and just bring me back my cost, and you can keep the profit. So I first didn't know to even, if I could even accept that offer. Granted, I was 16 years old. But reluctantly, I said, okay. I talked to my father about it. My dad said, hey, if this is something that you want to try, go ahead and give it a try. So I picked up the inventory. That weekend, I went to a swap meet, open air market. We set up our table, and lo and behold, I sold $500 worth of product. Wow. And my eyes opened up to the possibilities. And out of that $500, about $200 of it was profit for me towards my personal computer that I can use for school. So I went back to him and I thanked him, and I said, can I get a little bit more inventory? He was kind enough to give me a little bit more inventory, and then said, hey, I think moving forward, if this is what you want to do, this is something that that could be fruitful for you part-time. Here's some ideas on how to do it. So he kind of opened my eyes to what the possibility is. For me, making $200 in one day as a 16-year-old, it was a dream, right? Because you think of all the things that you can spend money on. So I ended up doing that, and within a couple of months, I identified where my sources were. So I ended up buying off of eBay a lot. I remember I used to wait for the Wednesday newspapers to show up because they had an area for sale under electronics. So it'd be like Sega Genesis with 12 games, the best offer. And I would run to the phone, I would make those calls, and I would go scoop up the video games. And I would go in and I would sell it in the open air market. Within a couple of years, the business turned pretty serious. I was probably raking in about $2,000 to $3,000 in revenue on a good weekend, and over $1,000 that was left profit for me. And I would say it helped from a financial standpoint because most of my siblings, if not all of my siblings, were still at school, and we're first-generation immigrants that have come in from Afghanistan. And we're in a situation where the focus has always been school, not necessarily pushing in and starting businesses. Alhamdulillah, it helped pay for my college as well in the early years of my marriage. And then there was a fork in the road where I decided that, hey, maybe selling tangible products, although it's fun, it doesn't necessarily inspire me as it did in the beginning. And then that's how I transitioned into health and wellness once I picked up my undergrad degree in business administration.
When the guy offered you the video game inventory, you said you were kind of hesitant. You didn't know whether you should go ahead with it and stuff. What was kind of going through your mind then? Do you know that were you just scared that you were going to not succeed selling it, or how did you come up with a plan for selling it?
Honestly, I just thought that I might lose inventory, right? Something might happen and I can't afford to pay it back. I knew about open air markets because, when we first came to this country, we were trying to figure out how to make money. So there was an opportunity here where we would go to yard sales and pick up inventory from people who were selling it. Then we'd go to a swap meet and sell it. But it was more houseware items and things like that. So my eyes were already open to the resale market. But now having a steady flow of inventory coming in really solidified me as a business, where now I didn't necessarily have to go hunt for the equipment all the time. I ended up where I was working with large distributors by the time I kind of wrapped up that business. But yeah, a part of me was like, I'm 16 years old, you're giving me all this inventory, what if I lose it? What's going on? And it just came down to trust. He said, look, there's something about you. I can see there's something about you, and I want to help you. And that's all it took, that level of trust.
Can you mention the importance of having a mentor or someone to give you that boost in the beginning, and how would you find them? Is it by luck, or do you go looking for them? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would say finding a mentor, finding someone that can kind of take you under their wings. It just be open with them. Have a conversation. The way I opened that opportunity for myself. First of all, I acknowledged what he had done was amazing. He had multiple stores at that point, and I let him know that this is something that I want to inspire to do or to be like as well, to be a business owner. And I also put a little cause around it. I said, I'm not just doing this to get rich. I'm trying to buy a computer. And then just have open dialogue and just be honest. And the right mentor will come along and would want to help you, because everyone needs a start. Everyone needs a start. Everyone needs to have that one conversation that could potentially change the trajectory of their lives. So now I'm trying to provide that for the students that come to me and say, hey, Coach Ahmed, I have an idea. What do you think of this and what do you think of that? And I try to give them some business blueprints on how to go about doing it. But the best way of doing it is just going out there and trying. And failing, multiple times before you can actually succeed.
Any advice you have, like on, for example, networking or talking to other people and, building your skills and talking? Was that like something you touch on?
Yeah, that's a big one. It's all about your circle of influence, right? And my philosophy is always surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Like seriously, people who have been accomplished or have accomplished great things, because you can only learn from them. And that's been my philosophy all the time, is like, if I see someone that has a degree that I'm looking to attain, that has a certificate that I'm looking to attain, or that has a business that inspires me, if I have that opportunity, if I have 10 minutes with them, I'll talk to them. And number one, let them know that I understand as a business owner and a serial entrepreneur how hard it is to get something like that up and running and how I admire them. But more importantly, just you have any negative information, right? Is there anything that I can kind of take away? And it's not necessarily you have to take away and make it your own all the time. It might not necessarily be the way you want to move forward, but everyone has value to add. And the more people you talk to, the more nuggets of information that you can pick up, and you can mold into how you want to operate a business, how you want to operate a relationship, how you want to manage your employees, strategic thinking, which is another big one. How do you want to move forward in the next couple of years?